What's going on, you guys? This is New York Adventure 1994 here, and today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2025, and today is my paternal grandfather's birthday. Happy heavenly birthday to him. This is like his 10th birthday in heaven because he died back in 2014, or should I say 11th? I don't know. It's been 10 years since he's passed away, and he's been gone for 10 years now. But the main reason why I want to come in the car tonight to make this video is because I have just heard that the Rangers are returning in the Winter Classic for the first time since 2018 when they played the Sabres at Citi Field back in January 2018. So the Rangers are once again in the Winter Classic, and they will be facing the Florida Panthers at the Lone Depot Stadium, which is the home of the Miami Marlins, which used to be known as Marlins Park, but they changed the name some time ago. So yeah, we're facing the Florida Panthers in the Winter Classic, and this is like the first Winter Classic to ever take place in the state of Florida. Because this is not really a thing for Florida to have a Winter Classic at a stadium. Because you know how warm Florida is, and there are also days in January where the temperature could go up to 80 degrees, which could be a problem for the ice, you know? It could be a really big problem because there could be days in Florida where it's January and the temperature could go up to 80 degrees. Like, in Florida, you could have warm periods, you could have cold periods, like you could have a little bit of both in January in the wintertime. I know it could get really warm in Florida in the month of January, even though right now that's not the case. We're in a huge cold front right now, and not only that it's freezing here right now, it's really windy out, but in Florida, where Disney is, they're playing up with a bunch of freeze warnings right now, and the temperatures are only in the 50s as the high, and the low is like in the lower 30s. So it's freezing. It's freezing in Florida right now. And it's actually gonna be freezing when I go down there next week to Disney. So it's gonna be really cold when I go to Florida. Not so I'm not escaping the cold either way. If it's gonna be freezing here, it's gonna be freezing in Florida next week. It feels like the single digits outside right now. So, and because we're in this huge cold front right now that's stretching all the way down south, it's gonna be freezing in Florida when I go there. But this hasn't really happened before, where a Winter Classic is being held in the state of Florida. Because it gets warm in Florida, they need to figure something out and have all the right equipment with them in order to keep the ice cold, while the Rangers are facing the Panthers in the Winter Classic in Florida. Yeah, they're gonna need everything they need to keep the ice cold while the Rangers are playing the Winter Classic game in Florida. They need to have all the right equipment with them in order to keep the ice cold during game time. Because if the temperature happens to be 70 degrees on, like, around New Year's in Florida, it could lead to a problem during the game, and the ice might not be sturdy enough. And by the way, this is not the only stadium game that's being held in Florida for the NHL. The Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning in February 2026, they are having their game at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, which is the stadium for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that also could be a problem if the temperature is too warm and it's not suitable enough for the ice to stay cold. They're going to need the right equipment then too, when Boston faces Tampa in Florida in the Stadium Series. So this is like the first at bat where Florida's having NHL Stadium Series because it's so warm over there and not too cold. And I think they're going to need all the right equipment they could get in order to keep the ice cold and solid. So we could have a perfect game. The Rangers are expected to play the Florida Panthers on January 2nd of 2026. The day after New Year's. And the Boston Bruins and the Tampa Bay Lightning are expected to face each other on February 1st, 2026 at the Raymond James Stadium. Yeah, Boston has played a lot of stadium games lately. They were just in the Winter Classic last week during New Year's Eve against the Washington Capitals. And now they're coming back into the stadium. And the Rangers were not as... And the Rangers were at a stadium not too long ago. They were playing the Islanders in the Stadium Series at MetLife Stadium last February. And there was like the Stadium Series going on in East Rutherford, where there were two games held at MetLife Stadium, where the first night it was the Devils and Flyers, and then the Rangers and Islanders played against each other the next day. The Rangers faced the Islanders at MetLife Stadium last year in 2024. And this is the first time the Rangers are in the Winter Classic since 2018 when they met the Sabres at Citi Field. And I just gotta say that game was freezing. It felt like negative 15 according to fans over there. A lot of people were like bundled up, like really good. They even had to wear like glasses and goggles with them because it was so cold out. And they had to like wear multiple layers of jackets. It was freezing during the Winter Classic. I'm not joking. It's a good thing I didn't go to that. And sadly, a lot of people got sick after that. A lot of people got really sick with the cold, and then we had a blizzard like 3 days later. It was like a big blizzard. And a lot of people got sick after that. And were catching a serious cold. I also got a cold too, even though I didn't go to the game. There was like a cold spreading while there was a blizzard going on. And I ended up getting sick for several days. It was that bad. It was like a really bad start to the new year. Like after the Winter Classic was over of the Rangers and Sabres at Citi Field, people were getting sick. And it was like getting really cold out. And this is not the only Winter Classic the Rangers were in. Back in 2012, the Rangers faced the Philadelphia Flyers at the Citizens Bank Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Philadelphia Phillies play. In 2012. It was held on January 2nd, 2012. And as far as the Boston Bruins are concerned, they've been in a lot of Winter Classics. Like I remember 2016, they faced the Montreal Canadiens at at Gillette Stadium. And then they played the Chicago Blackhawks in 2019 at the Notre Dame Stadium. And then they faced the Pittsburgh Penguins at Fenway Park. And then we recently had this game on New Year's Eve against the Washington Capitals. And I think they banned the Winter Classic in 2010, but I can't remember correctly. So the Rangers only had 3 Winter Classics. I mean, the third that's coming up in 2026, and the Bruins had like 5 of them. The Bruins have been in it more than anybody, I believe. It's going to be really interesting to see the Rangers in Florida during a Winter Classic. I bet the weather's going to be interesting too. Hopefully it's not too warm that we're going to have problems with the ice. They're going to need all the right equipment with them. If it were to happen right now, it would be perfect because it's freezing in Florida right now and there's a freeze warning over there where temperatures are dropping into the 30s. Yeah, where Disney is right now, I can see on my weather app that Bay Lake, where Disney is, it's freezing right now, and they still got a freeze warning. Yeah, it's cold basically everywhere on the East Coast right now. There's no escaping the cold whatsoever. I'm going to be flying to Florida next week, and I'm still not going to be escaping the cold because the cold front is still going to stick around for a while. So this is why I wanted to talk about. The Rangers are coming back into the Winter Classic for the first time since 2018 when they played the Sabres. And they will be facing the Florida Panthers in the 2026 Winter Classic. And we got a whole year away, so let's not rush it and enjoy 2025. It'll be here before you know it, but let's try not to rush the new year, 2025, because I'm expecting a bigger and better year. And we have the Boston Bruins against the Tampa Bay Lightning to play in February 2026. So there's plenty of time for before both games take place. It's a whole year away, and it'll be here before you know it, but let's give this new year some time because we just started 2025 last week. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting, and I guess that's it. Bye.